In Vedic literature, there are indeed various conceptions of liberation or the Mukti, each offering a distinct perspective on the ultimate goal of spiritual attainment. For this liberation we call Parampad or Mukti or Shayuja, etc., etc. Among these, the concept of Mukti or the Moksha is central, representing liberation from the cycle of birth and death, old age and disease, and the ultimate realization of true nature of the self, or the Atma Sakshatkar, the self-realization. So while 8 types of Mukti uh, are explicitly enumerated in Vedic different Vedic source. They elucidated it in subsequent philosophical thoughts and theological texts based on Vedic teachings. So these 8 types of mukti is understood in basically Vedic tradition. The first one, it's called Shalokya Mukti. This Salokya Mukti involves residing in the same abode as the Supreme Being, or we also called it to be the residence of Vaikuntha. And even there is tradition in Nepal and India that when somebody dies, they say, may he attend the Vaikuntha. That means Salokya Mukti. It grants the liberated soul the opportunity to dwell in the divine realm, experiencing the presence of Sri Krishna or Bhagavan Sri Vishnu himself. Shalokya Mukti in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 62 slok, Bhagavan Krishna promised Arjuna to the attainment of his adove, stating that for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So, Krishna promised for the Shalokya Mukti in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 62nd, 62 slok. The second one is Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti, this entails attaining a form similar to that of Supreme Being or Narayan himself, with 4 arms and everything, like how Bhagavan Narayan is seen in through the eyes of Vedic literatures. How Vedic literatures explain his form, the full of bliss, full of knowledge, Satchid Anandamay, and with 4 arms. So Sarupya Mukti means liberated souls in this state embody divine qualities and attributes reflecting the splendor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana, 4th canto, 30th chapter, 20th slok, the story of King Chitraketu actually illustrate this type of mukti. After undergoing spiritual practice and devotion, he attains a form similar to that of Lord Vishnu. And third mukti we discuss about is Samipya Mukti. So this Samipya Mukti allows this liberated soul to be in the close proximity with Bhagavan himself, the supreme entity himself, the source of everything. This proximity fosters a deep and intimate relationship with the divine, enabling constant communion and divine service. So Samipya Mukti, the story of Hanuman in the Ramayana, the history of Hanuman in the Ramayana exemplifies the Samipya Mukti. Hanuman, the ardent devotee of Bhagavan Sri Ram, is blessed to reside in the close proximity of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra himself, serving him eternally. And next is called Shastri Mukti. This Shastri Mukti entitles the possessing the same opulence and powers as the Supreme Being. Liberated, the soul, the Jeev, is in the state that shares in the divine attributes of the Supreme, experiencing the sense of completeness and fulfillment. And the story of Sudama in Srimad Bhagavatam actually illustrates this mukti. Sudama, the dear friend of Sri Krishna, is granted the same opulence and luxuries as the Lord himself after meeting him. And next is Sayujya Mukti. Sayujya Mukti involves merging or becoming one with the Supreme Being, also called Brahmacari. In this state of liberation, in this state of moksha or mukti or liberation, the individual soul transcends its distinct identity and merges into the ocean of divine consciousness, experiencing ultimate unity with the divine, And in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 10th slok, describe the attainment of Sahaja Mukti through realization of oneness with Supreme. Sri Krishna says, being freed from the attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, be fully surrendering me, many people in the past became purified by the knowledge of me, and thus they attain the transcendental love for me. So, and this next is Ekatva Mukti. Ekatva Mukti refers to realization of oneness with the Supreme Being while retaining individuality. Liberated soul Jivatma in this state maintain their unique identity, not like Sayuja Mukti, but they have their one unique identity, but same time they recognize their inseparable connection with that Supreme authority or Sri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Chandogya Upanishad, in 6.8.7, it states Tattvamasi, meaning you are that. This affirmation signifies the realization of oneness while recognizing individuality, because you are that. Tat, tvam, asi. So tat, that, tvam, you, asi. You are that. So here you and that both exist. This affirmation signifies the realization of oneness while recognizing the individuality, which corresponds to Ekatva Mukti and Anupalabdhi Mukti. Anupalabdhi Mukti is liberation attained through the absence of worldly experience or material experience. In this state, the liberated soul transcends all sensory perception and experiences the state of blissful detachment from the material realm. In this Anupalabdhi Mukti, the concept of detachment from the worldly experience leading to liberation can found in the teaching of, we can see the latest teachings on Advaita Vedanta. He often emphasized the importance of reunification and detachment from the worldly desires for spiritual realization. And next is Aikya Mukti. Aikya Mukti, it signifies the realization of absolute unity with the Supreme Being. In this form of liberation, the individual soul recognizes itself as inseparable part of that absolute or the Supreme, experiencing the ultimate union with the Supreme Consciousness to be the goal. In Upanishad, particularly in same Chandogya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, contains teaching of on this Aikya Mukti, emphasizing the realization of absolute unity with the Supreme, describes as Aham Brahmasmi, that I am that Brahma. So these are basically 8 different kinds of mukti described in Vedic literatures or the different Vedic source. And actually, to our amazement, this same concept of 8 types of liberation is actually described in Buddhism also, called Attha Vimokha. Attha Vimokha. It starts with Attha Koho Ime Ananda Vimokha, and I think it starts with Rupi Rupini Pasasti. It starts from here. It describes about there are 8 Ananda or 8 liberation, and it starts from one having from C forms, one having from C forms, Rupa Rupini Pasasti, all these 8 different types. I don't exactly remember all these 8 sutra there, but in the chapter called Attha Vimokha, the 8 types of liberation. In Buddhism also, this concept of 8 liberation is there. So these 8 types of mukti encapsulates the diverse path to spiritual realization and liberation outlined in Vedic philosophy. While they may vary in their specificity, they are ultimately lead to the soul towards the pinnacle of spiritual perfection and eternity. That's the main point, beyond the conception of materialism or beyond the worldly concept of life. Hare Krishna.